This is my Unit 2 test review. This is the first standard. The first paragraph of each slide is the standard's definition. For this one, my example for this slide is going to be 5 parenthesis 2y plus 4 plus 6 parenthesis 3y minus 8x plus 16x. To start, you need to distribute the negative 5 and the 6 in front of each parenthesis, or group of parentheses, and when you do that, you get 10y plus 20 plus 18y minus 48x plus 16x. You simplify your terms together, and you'll end up with 28y minus 32x plus 20, and this is my final answer because I can't simplify anymore. For this example, I will use the example that's already given. Ax plus 3 equals 7. To get x, you can go many ways, but for me, first, you'll subtract 3 on both sides, and then you divide the a on both sides, or you divide a on the left and put it on the right. And when you're done, the problem should look like x equals 4 over a. This one I put my two variable equations at the beginning, 7x plus 10y equals 15, and 3x plus 5y equals 7. The elimination method works on these two variable equations by getting one of the variables to the same number on each equation, but one, just to start off, so I'd have to put the y is the same or the x is the same, but one of them has to be a negative so they can cancel each other out, so you can actually solve for the other variable. So I did 7x, or it's still the same thing, but I chose this second equation and multiplied all of it by a negative 2. And when I did that, I had my first equation was the same, and my second ended up being negative 6x minus 10y equals negative 18. After I was finished with that, you needed to put the equations together, which is the elimination part, and you'd simplify all, and so you'd end up with x equals negative 3. And when you get there, you use the x, the equal sign's not supposed to be there, but the x, and plug it into one of the equations. For this one, I'll use the second equation. So I would plug x equals negative 3 into where the x is, and you have 3 as negative 3 is multiplied by 3, I guess you could say. And when you do that, you get negative 9, and the equation looks like negative 9 plus 5y equals 9. So you take the negative 9 on the left side, and you add 9 to it, so it will cancel out on the left side, and you add 9 to the other side, and you'll get 5y equals 18. And to finish up and solve it, you'll have to divide by 5, and you get 3.6 for y, and your x and y for the problem are negative 3 and 3.6. This one, in order to solve an example for this, you would need to graph them two linear equations. What you need to do is put the two linear equations on a graph. Also make sure you shade on the correct side of the graph, so if it's if you just make sure you shade on the correct side of the graph. And once you finish this, your answer will be in the shaded area. It's crossed over. So when you have a line going like this and a line going like this, where my eye is, if they cross over in this top part, both the shaded parts are crossed over in there, right here, that's your answer will be in there. For my example for this slide, it would be y equals 5x minus 2, and in order to find the solution set for the x and y, I would need to plug in numbers for my x and y, and when you do this, you need to simplify. I need to simplify my equation, and when that is done, if the answer is equal to the other side, those are your points. So if it's you plug it all in, simplify, and it's 5 equals 5, and your answer is correct. for this one, I would plug in the points 1 and 1 comma 3, and so when you plug it in, your equation will be 3 in the parentheses equals 5 times 1 in the parentheses minus 2. When you simplify the equation, or my equation, I would end up with 3 equals 5 minus 2, and after I subtract 2 from the 5 to simplify, my equation will be 3 equals 3, and on the right, and since it's 3 equals 3, it is correct, and up here on the graph, this is my point. Here's the y is right here, 1. Oh shoot, oh no, that's the x, never mind, I'm reading this wrong. And you go up 3, and this is your point. It crosses on the line y equals 5x minus 2. If I'd gotten all of it, you'd be able to see that negative 2 is way down there, and it's where the y-intercept crosses, and then goes up 5 and over 1, and it lands on 1 comma 3. And that's my Unit 2 test review thing.